personality that we're receiving wisdom from an eminent personality, from, you know, world political leader in the helm of things, you know, sort of walking the talk as we speak, you know, in the global affairs of the world today. We have Her Excellency Violeta Bulc with us yet again. You met her at the inaugural this morning, and it was 4 a.m. for her. So luckily, it's a little bit more sane. It's a little bit more human this time. So, so wonderful to have you here. As you already, you know, as everyone here is already aware, Her Excellency Violeta Bulc is the former Deputy Prime Minister of Slovenia, and she's the European Union Transport Commissioner, and she has a wide array of designations and positions of responsibility that she has held over more than what seems to be a lifetime. And we are here in this moment talking to her about emerging technology. She's going to enlighten us with an experience of her expertise in this area. And we know that, you know, in the world that is forming quickly, in the new world that is forming with every breath that we take now, we know that we no longer use technology. We live it. We're immersed in it. And technology, in fact, is one of the most powerful, soaring epitomes of human imagination. So here we are to hear Her Excellency speak about emerging technologies, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cloud platforms, all of it and much more. My privilege to hand it over to you, Excellency. Please do enlighten us on this topic that we don't know much about, and we need to know everything about. Over to you.
Nancy, thank you very much. Thank you for this warm welcome, and hello to everyone who's with us today at this time. Of course, in 10 minutes time, you cannot go into everything that technology means today, especially because it is certainly one of the characteristics of our civilization, is the one that defines us, and it's somehow shaping the way how we envision the future. However, in my 10 minutes speech, I will challenge you on that one a little bit, and then go more deeply into the topics that were announced with my colleagues at the round table, where we're going to have a full hour to discuss things. But just to give you a bit of spice and to, of course, challenge you a little bit in your own thoughts, and to really invite you into seeing technology for more than just some gadget or something that we are used to have around on a day-to-day basis. I would like to challenge you on philosophical questions. Is digitalization a tool or a goal? Because today, in today's world, we keep getting many offers and invitations to actually buy digitalization as a goal, to say that digitalization is our society. But, and this is exactly where we need more female power and strength in the dialogue, because I personally really believe that digitalization should stay a tool. And let's take just a couple of examples. And especially, they say that you first have to raise questions before you can start seeking wisdom and answers. So my first question is, does it serve to support human needs or to create dominance of a few? And this is an important question, because what we are seeing over the years is that with technology, we are getting even higher concentration of capital and wealth. So the gap between rich and poor is actually growing, not disappearing, in spite of all the efforts that we are putting into addressing this topic. And today we don't just have economic poverty. All of a sudden there is also a climate poverty, it's a technological poverty, and even a poverty of mind. And in this discussion, we need a full society at the table, women and men, to really try to imagine the future that we would like to live. And I dare to say that if we are really honest with ourselves, we would like to see technology as a tool. What do you think? You know, I would love to get some responses from you. You can even put it in comments on the conference web, or maybe social media, where we're going to be discussing or posting some of the thoughts from today's discussion. But please try to answer to yourself. Is technology serving the society to support the human needs or to create dominance of a few? And on which side would you like to be? So for that, of course, we need to be very mindful that with the technology, there is a stronger and stronger push for corporations to prove that the countries are no longer necessary. They're establishing global corporate networks, and they, of course, in many cases, they're becoming by far bigger and stronger than any country around. And that's why it's even more important that we understand the basic difference between corporate and the state role in this world. And corporations, with all respect, and I've been part of it, I'm a computer engineer by profession. I worked in big and global and domestic corporations. And with all respect, corporations have to maximize the bottom line. They have to generate profits for the stakeholders and shareholders. But on the other hand, the country, the state has to take care of the well-being of people. And this is this big difference. So I'm inviting everything to be very mindful when we design technologies, to understand that they need to support us to live a human life and to live the societies where humans have a right to decide. And that gets us to the next question. Does it empower individuals and communities, or it manipulates and controls them? And lately we've heard a lot about surveillance capitalism, which means that through the technologies, every step is monitored, every step is predicted or even steered. And with the surveillance capitalism, we are seeing that it's no longer used only to promote different ideas, to have a more powerful and effective way to push new products, new services, and to promote them to target groups, but rather opposite, because of the enormous big data already being stored in different devices. The technology companies and the empowered by technologies trying to define what our future is all about. And again, of course, it's all a question of what do we really want? Where do we want to stand? What I'm asking you is to go deep and try to reply to yourself to these questions, and try to seek solutions for it. And of course, act then wherever you are in the spirit of what you feel is the right thing to do. And that's how we come to the third question. Do we create more inclusive, nature-based future societies, or are we creating a new species to replace us humans? And that is the story of transhumanism. And again, this is a very possible way forward, that instead of maximizing our human potentials that we are inviting everyone through the eco-civilization movement to do, it's equally strong, and today even more aggressive, the trend that is trying to create a new species based on human experience and technological advances, and put it forward as the future of species on this planet Earth, and possibly also cosmos. So again, I know that you might have expected that I'm going to just go straight into what cloud technology, IT, and Internet of Things are doing, but these are really small tools to manifest one of these big questions. So that's why I decided to share this with you and invite you into finding your own truth, and then exchange it with others, and let's see where the humanity wants to go in the future. So while I'm saying that, there is another mindset and framework that I'd like to invite you to. through the development of our societies in the last, let's say, 50,000 years, first we coexisted with other species in so-called nature one, forest, in the nature, really directly communicating and directly relating to the other species, other beings on this planet. And then for some reason, community started to grow, and we entered the phase of this nature two, which started to coexist with nature one, and that those are cities. And cities today globally already cover 80% of all population. That's why we started to talk so much about smart cities, because it is a challenge to deliver a decent standard of living and all necessary basic ingredients that we need in order to live, being food, water, clean air. And without technology, we cannot even imagine running cities today. And so it's true, the nature too is there. We embraced it. It's becoming stronger and stronger. However, what happened is that it was not enough, this physical world. So humans created the virtual world, which I call nature three, where the laws of technology are dominating, especially because right now we have no global regulator who would actually take care of the users and take care of the citizens on a global scale. So this is one of the big discussions right now. Do we have enough awareness on a global scale, like in Europe, in Asia, in Americas, and in Africa, and other islands around the world, to come together and create regulatory framework for nature three that we can feel safe? I call it right now Wild West, because there is no rules. Every corporation sets its own rules, and individual countries are trying to fight a little bit or protect the consumers on their side. But right now the corporations are winning. And I don't want this to sound as something that is against corporations. Corporations take whatever they can take, but it's a matter of, are we aware what we're doing? Are we aware of our consequences? And that brings me to the next three questions. And first, to go a bit deeper and say, which are really the pillars of this technological world, of this virtual world, of this augmented reality that we are creating? And many people spend even more time in that nature three than in any other nature one or two. You know, they come, rarely go out and go in the forest, listen to the birds, listen to the brooks. They come and share the time with the family or friends only when they eat, maybe not even for that. And most of the time we are just in front of the screens and getting all kinds of work done, either play the games or do our work and make money, or even use it for just pure entertainment. So which are really the pillars now that we need to set up in order to create also this virtual space as a safe space? Certainly, the next question to ask is, who sets the rules? Is it corporations? Or are we really going to claim as citizens the right to regulate the virtual space? Right now, we don't have any, as I mentioned before. And the big question is what to do with the big data that is being generated everywhere. And we have so many different approaches how to manage it, even though we act as global citizens in this nature three. So Europe has a user right perspective and is focusing on setting up the frameworks to exercise user rights. But China and the United States are more focusing on data ownership, in China being state, and in the US being corporation. And all other countries are positioning somewhere around these three pillars, but this is a global story, so we need to find global solution and move on together. And last but not least, what should the really rules contain? Can we go for open APIs and make sure that there is a competitive environment available all the time? What kind of behavior is this nature three developing, and do we have the right response to that? and so on and so on and so on. Does the rule of law apply to nature 3? And so much already wealth and value is generated there. So all these questions, of course, need